I can't even believe he said it to you. Basically about him saying he goes a little bit deep, or he's not surface level or something like that. I can't believe he said that, because if you do go deep into the Africans being involved in the transatlantic slave trade, and being that he mentioned the Kingdom of Congo and King Alfonso, you will see that every king after King Alfonso participated in the transatlantic slave trade all the way up until the slave trade was ended. And the majority of that was because they actually wanted a monopoly. They wanted to control. They wanted that control to be with the royal lineage of the slave trade. They wanted that control to be tight with them. But when it wasn't tight with them, they didn't want the Portuguese to have so much control in it. That's why they started working with the Dutch later. Okay, but they didn't want the Portuguese to have so much control in that situation. They wanted to keep that thing tight with the royal Congolese lineage. That's exactly what they wanted. They wanted to go how they wanted it to go. So it's not like they wanted to end it. They wanted it to go how they wanted to go. Okay. Of course, Alfonso did say he didn't want the trade anymore, but it wasn't because he didn't actually want the trade. It was because the Portuguese was getting too much control, and he was like, and his kingdom was being depopulated. And I explained all that in another video. But listen, as an ethnic Black American, um, I'm not gonna tell any one of my people to feel like I feel. Okay. But even when I take issue with the royal lineages. That I do. I take issue with the royal lineages because I feel like not only did they screw us over here, but I think a lot of those royal lineages of the past, they screwed the people over in Africa too. So I take issue with their decision making skills. Okay, I take issue with it. I take issue with. I feel like they believe they're up here and everybody else is freaking down there. That's what the flip I think. I'm not saying that it is or it isn't. That's just my take on it. And I really scrutinized them because I really looked at their family histories. Okay, now all of them aren't like that. I'm talking about the ones that participated in the slave trade. Okay, and I'm gonna in that Alfonso dude, that one. And then we have this other one. I know that Howard just got visited by one of the Ashanti kings, right? I want to say Osei Tutu the second. But that's a royal lineage, and in his background there was participation in the transatlantic slave trade. Okay, I would just probably ask my people to, before you get all excited because you see something that you probably never seen before, right? To actually say, okay, who's coming? As soon as you hear the royal king and stuff like that, okay, then stop right there and go research that person's family background. Go research that thing. Go research it, okay? Because the one thing you want to have them address is where the conversation left off. And that's the transatlantic slave trade. We don't need to be talking about nothing else. Tell me your thoughts on it. If you want to really make amends and everything, you need to start from scratch and tell us everything. And and that's how I feel about it. That's just how I feel about it. Okay. And before you even ask the question, know that history like the back of your freaking hand. Because it's always good to know the answer before you freaking ask. So you know if they're trying to shake you, if they're trying to make you look like a complete freaking fool by giving you a dumb answer. Okay? And want you to go and believe that crap. Okay? And that's how you can kind of gauge whether somebody is actually down for you and trying to mend fences, or they just trying to shake you down and get something from you. Okay? But that is the guy who he's a descendant of the royal lineage that participated in the slave trade. Mm-hmm. So you got to make sure you look at those lineages. They like to keep it in the family. It's in the family way. So you know what I'm saying? That right there. Okay, so if he wants to go deep in it, he can go deep. He can go deep if he wants to, because the transatlantic slave trade lasted for centuries. So when you can literally go down the line and see most of them participated in why and who with and what. There were some out of Ghana. um, what's her name? I want to say Ashanti. One of them, okay. I think she was trying to battle it out with them or whatever. And then there were some other ones. Now there were some other ones who did not play with that. They were like, "Yo, we're not having that slave trade around here." Okay, and I talked about that. If you go back and look at my the slave trade tab I have, oh yeah, I talk about that. There was some ones who was like, over my dead body we gonna do that. But Congo, Ashanti, a lot of them. Anytime you hear these royal names, research them so that you know who you're dealing with. Research them good. And then if they try and shake you by giving you some false information, you know they not about that. They're not about mending any fence. They about making you look like a complete fool.